Hey, how's your New Year resolution holding up? This time you told yourself it's going to be different, right?
Have you ever felt you could be much more than what you are right now in terms of your relationships or achievements?
And remember the number of times you called your friend when you saw the news of the startup idea you had a few years ago is executed now, has raised a few $1 million as well?
Or perhaps you feel like you're stuck in a busy trap where you are busy and doing something all day, but you're not making any progress actually.
Well, don't panic. Our goal here is not to make you feel worse, but to explore the root cause of this problem. If you're faltered in your New Year resolution, don't worry. You're not alone. 81% of people give up entirely, and only 7% end up really doing them.
And as far as the reaching your potential thing is concerned, this is the entire thought behind the Maslow school of philosophy.
And we don't have to tell you what's the potential value of the idea that you failed to pursue.
And by the way, in a Twitter study, it was found that 12% of all humble brags were actually people talking about how they are in the busy trap.
So, what's the issue? Perhaps there's some non obvious reasons behind this. We believe the answer lies in the fact that modern privileges comes with modern struggles.
But the obvious reason is the inability to consistently make progress, or in other words, consistent productivity. Because clearly everyone is trying, but majority of us are failing to execute and manage our time and energy in a consistent way.
For example, you must have found yourself being extremely productive a week or the day before the exam, right? And when that's happening, it's our fear and our hopes that's creating a biological cocktail of emotions that drives us in this short burst of productivity. But then, since you're not in this driver's seat, things don't work on in a consistent way.
So now that we understand the issue of only being productive in these sprints and then failing later on, let's try to investigate the reasons. First, there's no clear motivations in a lot of cases. Are you absolutely sure that this is the best thing you could be doing at this moment? This question will determine how driven you are. Also, maybe you are not even sure that this is what you want, and you are only actually chasing some biased social signaling for society.
And second, and the most important part is there are no support structures, as fixing ourselves is a single player game that requires knowing ourselves deeply at multiple levels and then fixing this bus that's going down the hill at 100 kilometers an hour. And this is probably what Richard Feynman meant when he said the easiest person to fool is ourselves.
So now that we understand the problem, what's the solution? Well, we believe it begins with the realization that there's an army of data scientists and engineers who are constantly coming up with ways to exploit your brain's weakness for attention and for money. The porn industry, the pharma, the food industry, the news and entertainment industry, they're all weaponizing addiction. And we need to not only be aware, but also strong enough to stand up to them. A task that is Herculean on its own, just enough to maintain our survival, let alone also growing in the meantime. So how do you fight them alone? Well, we are here to tell you that you don't have to.
Welcome to StrangerSapiens, a community for consistently productive sapiens, where we meet, learn, and enable each other to reach our goals by getting things done in the most efficient way possible, thereby becoming the best version of ourselves in the long run.